that I'd film something from my kitchen for today's assembly because Mrs. Nicholas has told me that it's World Baking Day today. So those of you who know me, and I know that the teachers and the support staff know me, I love baking. That's my hobby. And I know that some of you also love to bake and followed some of my recipes that I posted on the school YouTube channel over the lockdown. So some of you will have tried some of my recipes out. And I know lots of you love doing cookery just for fun anyway. So as it's World Baking Day, I thought I would show you some of the things that I love to bake. I'm really loving baking sourdough at the moment. So I've made some sourdough bread this morning, and this one's got poppy and sesame seeds on. And it's still actually warm, that one, because it's not long out of the oven. And you can see inside the sourdough, it's got those lovely holes, which is classic for sourdough. So that's a really fun hobby of mine, baking sourdough. I also, yesterday, made some millionaire's shortbread. And that's a really fun thing to do as well. So if you've never made that before and you love shortbread and you love caramel and you love chocolate, that might be something that you could actually make for your family. And it keeps really well too. And you can freeze it if there's any left that you don't want to eat all at once, but I'm sure you probably will. So today I thought I would show you how to make a really simple thing for you to bake, that anybody can make this, and you don't need many ingredients. In fact, there are only 4 ingredients in this recipe. So I've got some butter, which I'm going to melt. And in the saucepan with the butter, I have some demerara sugar. So the demerara sugar goes in with the butter and I'm going to melt it. And also in there, I have some golden syrup. And you need about 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. And because I bake so much, I can just guess how much 2 tablespoons is, but you may need to measure it out, okay? And then I'm going to melt that and I'll come back to you and show you the next bit because it's so easy. Okay, so that didn't take very long at all. I've melted the sugar, the butter, and the syrup together. So I've got a nice liquidy mixture in here. And this is the tricky bit. It's not tricky. Is I simply put my porridge oats into the saucepan. So the good thing about this as well is there's not a lot of washing up, which is always a bonus. And it's about being organised and measuring out your ingredients before you combine them. So I'm just going to give all of that a good stir. You can, if you want to, add things like some coconut, if you like coconut. You can add some raisins or sultanas or any kind of mixed fruit. And you can also add chocolate chips, which are good, or you can sprinkle the chocolate chips over the top. But for this recipe, I'm just going to keep it the basic standard recipe. And there's the lovely mixture, and it smells lovely. Now, earlier I got a pan. You just need a tin like this, and I put a little bit of butter in the tin, and then I've lined it with some paper. And the reason I put some baking paper in there is that it's much easier to get out and to slice when you're ready to cut it. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to tip all of that mixture into my pan. That's it. And then spread it out, just roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't press it down too much because it can make it a bit hard and crunchy, and you want it to be a little bit chewy. So you need to keep your eye on flapjack, because once it comes out of the oven, it keeps cooking because of the heat that it's had in the oven. So don't worry if it looks a bit liquidy when you first take it out, because it will continue to cook. And as it cools, it does get harder. And I've made that mistake before. I've actually left it in the oven for too long thinking, oh, it doesn't look like it's properly cooked. And actually, by the time you go to cut it, it's too hard and crunchy. So here it is in the pan, okay? That's quite simple, isn't it? It's not difficult. And that will go in the oven for 25 minutes. So I'll show you when it comes out. So I've just taken it out of the oven, and you can see that it's lovely golden brown, and it's not hard to touch. It's still soft and sizzling and bubbling a little bit. And I'll leave that for about 10 minutes, and then I'll slice through to make the pieces, but I won't actually take the pieces out. I'll just leave them to set and get a bit firmer. And then I'll leave it for about half an hour after that, at least, before I even think about taking the pieces out of the tin, otherwise they'll fall apart. If you're wanting to know my recipe, it's so easy. It's 225 grams of butter, and you can use baking margarine if you want to. 225 grams of butter, 2 tablespoons of the golden syrup, and I think you can probably use honey. It probably works the same, it's just a slightly different taste. And 225 grams, so same as the butter, of the demerara sugar. And then I added in the porridge oats, and that was 275 grams of porridge oats. And that's it. That's all you need. And the oven was 160 degrees centigrade for about 25 minutes. And it depends on your oven. Some ovens are hotter, some ovens are faster. That was on a fan oven, so if you haven't got a fan oven, you might need to leave it in a little bit longer, but it's really, really easy. Give it a go. Send me a photo if you make it at home, and I'd love to see how your results go. But happy baking day. And so here is the finished flapjack. I've cut it up, and it's still a little bit warm, so I could have left it a bit longer, but I wanted to show you how it looked when it was finished. And there it is. I wish you could smell it, because it smells so lovely. But try it yourself and see what you think. Bye.